today we'll be dissecting something really, really important. You all know, right? That's one of the reasons we take our time before we come live, because we want to bring to you things that will change, or bring a change in your life, or bring a change in your community. Why not the society and, of course, the country at large? Ladies and gentlemen, we all know Focal Point comes up every Wednesdays and Fridays. That's from 11 a.m. right up to 12:30 p.m. So for 1 hour 30 minutes, we'll be talking and trying to treat a particular issue that we have noticed is plaguing the youth of today, particularly, and also bearing other fruits in the lives of our mothers, our fathers, leaders, and, well, every individual in our society. I'm not all-knowing. Most definitely, I am relying on you who is watching me, saying contributions via the number you find on your screen. You may have something to add upon what the people I have brought here today will be saying, as well as you may have something maybe to concur or a question to ask. All right, we are quickly going to introduce those who are in the studio with me this morning. I'll start with a very familiar face. You all know him. He's one of the favorite panelists on Excellence Impact. And as the name goes, it's an excellence show which makes sure that you all are impacted in one way or the other. And his name says it all. We're looking at Aya W. Abine. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you and good morning to him. Good morning to you.
Good morning. It's always a pleasure to be here, having a chance to share information. Every action is dependent on information, and so when we have this opportunity to come and serve by sharing information, it's always a wonderful pleasure. So thanks for having me, and I'm very excited when I see the people that we have, on the panel. So yeah, we hope that we change one or two lives out there.
All right, thank you so much for coming, and thank you. We just want to make this comment. Today's edition of the program, that topic is probably sponsored by that brain there. So everything you're going to learn today, you owe it to him to say thank you. So if you're seeing down the street after this program and the program has made you to realize a thing or two, say thank you to him. And why not the other panelists that we are going to be meeting? Normally they say ladies before gentlemen, but I'll just introduce all the gentlemen before we meet the lady. So we are meeting Wemba Miracle, who is a PhD research fellow. Very important, because we don't want people who are armchair, right? We need people who dive into this the subject matter. They actually read on it, study it, because reading is different from studying. They read, they study, they understand, and they are able to share, because there are people who understand information but they cannot share it. So we are happy to have someone who is capable of sharing. He's a youth advocate and, of course, an emerging leader. Maybe after this edition of the program, we'll see which ministry he fits in, and we could just send him there and we start placing in our vote. What do you say? All right, good morning to you, Miracle, and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for your kind words. It's always a pleasure to be on this platform, and I want to say we owe our world a huge obligation to make it better than how we met it.
Exactly.
And these are some of the platforms where we'll make that possible. Thank you.
Thank you too very much. We love the smile. We love people who smile, because the way the country is hard, it's very difficult to find people who can smile these days. All right, let's meet the lone lioness in our beautiful panel today. We are looking at Madame. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not say Mr. or Sir. So I'm calling her Madame. You know, women supporting women. That's it. We're talking about Bongo Christabel Maya. I hope I pronounced the name right.
Very right.
And she's the project manager of Lyric Group, and of course she is an accountant. So we have people who count money in this country. Why are you posting this money to be counted? No?
People like you. People like you, I can bet you have a lot of money to give me to count. So
I don't know if there's another me or something as well.
You need to
Impressive.
believe in yourself. I don't want to expose how big you are to the viewers.
Maybe my shadow is surprised. Anyway, we'll battle with that after. You're welcome on the panel.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay. And maybe just say good morning to a few persons who are watching you right now. This is your first time on Focal Point, I guess.
Yes.
So,
first time.
is your first time on TV?
No,
High
it's my
TV.
first time on High TV.
All right. So there are people who are watching you, first time seeing you on this platform. So say good morning to them.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Good morning, my dear viewers. It's such an honor for High TV to host us, me in particular, and I'm so happy to be here. As the host said, it's thanks to Mr. Aya Abine for bringing me here, and I really appreciate. And I appreciate all the people who have taken out time to watch us here. And I am hoping that before this program ends, we are going to learn a lot. We are going to have a lot of clarity on some things. So stay tuned and let's give you a show.
Okay, wow, what an introduction there. Let us give you a show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into the show that Chris is talking about. Okay, today's topic, Madam Claudine, if you've already written it out on TV, please just make this little correction. The confusion between excitement and fulfillment. We're drawing the line today. We're drawing that very visible line. It's not going to be an invisible or thin line, because they say there's a very thin line between hate and love. No, this one is a very visible, a very fat line. We're drawing it between excitement and fulfillment. Okay, let's meet Mr. Abine. He's the reason why we are having this topic. Let us find out why he had to think of something like this. What prompted you? What was the inspiration? What did you see?
Thank you very much. I'm a trainer, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach. I also serve as a consultant. I'm also a writer. And so, as I mentioned earlier, life is all about actions, because actions lead to specific repercussions. And so what we have today as a city, as a region, as a nation, as a continent, is a function of actions that people have been taking. And so the repercussions or the results of those actions are dependent on the motives that guide the person who is taking the actions. And so if your motive is one which just comes from you doing something that just excites you, the tendency, the probability that it will have negative consequences is very high, because the body, the flesh, the natural, the physical, usually cares mostly about itself.
Yeah.
And that's why you would hear people saying that some schools of thought say that we are primarily spiritual, because it is the spiritual part of us that is more about the other person, right? And at the level of, when you say spiritual, some people confuse it for religious, they confuse it for church, they confuse it for denomination, right? But spiritual is simply to be able to rise beyond what the flesh offers.
Okay.
And so people who can rise beyond what the flesh offers, what they do is that they do things for other people. Right? Yeah. And so but today, we're in a society where, because of the short-term nature of excitement, we have a majority in the governments, in the churches, in the schools, in almost all strata of society, who care mostly about the self. And it has led us to this country where, as you mentioned, it's so difficult to people smiling, because everybody is angry. And they're angry because we are struggling with things we should not struggle with. Case in point, how can the people at Boya Town, for those of us watching from Cameroon or from Boya, how can the people in Boya Town who are at the foot of Mount Fako struggle with water? Think about it. How do the people in Bukwango struggle with water? That's because we are in a society where those carrying out their actions are controlled mostly by excitement. They are controlled mostly by their flesh and their self. And so that perspective of the other person is missing. And so in my years, almost a decade of experience now, I came to discover that but now there's that little group of people who are confused, because some have chosen their side and they say that I'll just be about me. But now there is that group, and when you go for sessions, when I go to speak, when I go to coach, when I train people, the question I always ask is so how do I get to know my purpose? Right? Because people want clarity. It's only when there is clarity that you can be able to rise beyond the flesh. Right? Because what flesh brings is excitement, which of course will bring pleasure as the end goal. But now fulfillment is when you are able to see beyond your own desires. And that's why you say, if at all there is this cry for a better Cameroon, a better Africa, the only way we can address it is by creating people, creating the society, creating cultures, creating a mindset that will care more about the other person. Okay. So that's why I thought that we need to have this kind of conversation where we talk about what does it take to be clear that the point from which you are acting is not from the point of just excitement and selfishness, from a point, but rather from the point of a desire for fulfillment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abine. I'm coming to you, Miracle. Let's have a clear definition of the word excitement and fulfillment, because at this juncture, someone is still like, what's the difference? excitement, fulfillment. If I'm fulfilled, I'll be excited now. That's what someone is saying. If I'm fulfilled, I should be excited. And someone is like, you can only be excited about something before you do the thing. So now, what then is the clear-cut definition between excitement and fulfillment?
Thank you very much. As you said, many people listening right now may not see a difference in those two terms, but there obviously is a difference. And of course, there is a fine line that exists between the two.
Okay.
Excitement, fulfillment. And I want to start by saying that a man that is fulfilled is automatically an excited person. But someone can be excited and not fulfilled.
Okay.
So where is the difference? Now, excitement comes with temporary happiness, or satisfaction.
That's what some people say we are bipolar. One minute you're smiling, another minute you're sad.
Yes, it's very temporary. It is like the, I don't want to say it's like the British weather. it is very temporary.
Yeah.
Excitement is temporary. 1 minute is there, and the other minute it is not there. So it is tied, and excitement is tied to events. It is tied to particular activities.
There must be something.
There must be something that is, provokes or triggers the excitement.
Yeah.
And when that thing is no longer there, you can be the worst person on earth.
You're more depressed.
You are depressed, and we can count it out there. Depression has become the order of the day. There are people who are killing themselves, young girls, young boys drinking, poisons to take their lives because they have become fed up. But if you just look, those are people who were just excited few hours ago, but you asking yourself what suddenly happened, because it was tied, their excitement, it was tied to something. And once that thing, maybe it was money, maybe it's karma, got some huge money, and they lavished it, and they were excited, they were happy, they drank themselves, and they were feeling good. So it's all about a temporary feeling. But fulfillment goes far beyond that. Fulfillment is an inner satisfaction a person derives from accomplishing the purpose why he was created.
Yeah.
So it goes beyond, the superficial. It goes beyond a temporary feeling. It is something you cannot really explain. Yes, it is an inner satisfaction. It is deep inside.
I think that's where some people are saying there's a difference between happiness and joy.
Yes, there's a huge difference between happiness and joy. Happiness, of course, somebody can be happy now, and the next second the person is, the most angry person in the world.
But the joy, you
Yes,
never
but the
you cannot
joy,
explain
you
why.
cannot- yes.
Why is this joy from?
Why? So some days you can get up in the morning, but you are just feeling joyful, and you cannot really explain where is this joy coming from.
Yeah.
You might not have eaten, you might not have gotten all the things you wanted to get, but you feel this inner, satisfaction within you, and it only comes from you, as I said, accomplishing or doing that which you are originally, ordained to do. Once you are in the wrong place, once you are doing the wrong thing, no matter the temporary excitement you may get, bet me, you will never be fulfilled.
Oh, wow, I thank you so much, and that was a beautiful one there. I'm sure for those of you who are watching us, getting the background from which the topic of today is from, and the clear dichotomy between fulfillment and excitement, I'm sure we are ready to get the ball rolling, aren't we? Now, let's meet Chris. When you look at our society today, do you think we are people who are more of excited, or we are, fulfilled?
Okay, so I'm going to focus more on my age group. I'll call it the Gen Z, as they call it. So I'm going to focus more on that because I believe that I deal more with them, and I have had a lot of direct contact with them, and me myself, I've been caught up in situations where I can clearly give a perspective on that.
Yeah.
So it's very evident that most of us are excited. Most of us cannot even differentiate what is excitement, what is joy. I hope people pay attention to the differences, because most of us don't know what is excitement, what is fulfillment, what is joy, what is peace.
We don't even know where to find which and where.
We don't even know where to place ourselves. We just want to follow the trends, and most of the trends are making us excited. So, in a nutshell, most of the youths now are excited, and I don't want to call numbers, but very few people are moving towards a direction of fulfillment, which is really really sad. So, it's as he said, excitement is always tied to an event, and the world now, there's always an event. There's always something for us to be excited about.
We're excited about Camille. We're excited about.
We're excited about things we don't even know, just because
we don't even understand.
Just because it's a trend online. Okay, let's talk about what I do. Let's say in the music world. Somebody will just get up today. The person is talented. Remember, having the talents does not mean it's your calling.
Yeah.
There are talents that I don't know how to put it, but it's not every talent that you have that is going to be exploited. There are different callings.
Some you should just use as a hobby.
Some are hobbies. Yeah. It's not your calling. You see somebody wake up today, the person will do a TikTok video, a person will sing, and it's going to go viral. You're going to get the fame, and fame is very beautiful. Very, very, very beautiful. Now, how do we manage it? Fame is very, very beautiful, and it's very common to hear that fame and money changes people. Now, I don't mind that. I'll ask myself, what kind of change? Is it the negative or the positive? But sadly, in this our generation, it's always the negative changes. So I am pleading on the youth, or from this show, I'm begging on you people to pay attention. Let's draw these lines, and it's okay to sit down and do a live audit. Okay. It's okay for you to sit down and look at every aspect that you're doing. Am I doing this thing because I'm excited? Am I getting this hair because of this event? Am I starting this online business because I want to? I don't like. You really need to draw those lines. You really need to know what you're doing. You really need to have goals. You need to set goals for yourself.
Oh my God.
You really need to have clear objectives.
Prince, you've said something very, very important, and I think with the example that you used, this should help so many girls, especially as you said, the Gen Z generation. I'm still to understand what's Gen Z, because online words are horrible sometimes. Okay, like she mentioned, hey, Sabine, let me just speak it from there, because the question I was about asking is which age group is mostly affected by excitement, and in what areas do we see the excitement really being projected? But now I want to use this stuff that she brought in. Young girls of today go spend 50,000 to do hair. So, personally, I don't have a problem with you looking so good. It's a beautiful thing for you to look good, you feel good. But I always have this question: when I do this hair, what next? Because as far as I'm concerned, if I have to do anything, that means if I have to put money on my body, I'm going somewhere that money has to be tripled though. Because me, I will not go and spend 15,000 on my body and I'll sit in the house. Why? For what? So if I'm doing hair, it means I have to go and MC and have paid me like 50,000, and the hair I will do for 5,000. Because you understand, you're doing calculations. Hair 5,000, the dress maybe 5,000. So that 40,000 enters your pocket. That is what. But I will see girls in the salon like weekly. Maybe I was in the salon last week. I come to the salon this week. I still see you there. And the styles you're doing, they are not cheap. And then I mean, one time, I not even know that probably is because I wanted to find out whether she's being excited or fulfilled, whatever. I just asked this lady, Mama, but all this hair that you were doing is for what? And she said, it's for me to look good, though. And I was like, that's it. Just to look good. And so it saddens the heart if you're someone who maybe you really have a vision, you're looking at things from a deeper perspective, and you see somebody who has resources like that. There's someone in one village who's just looking for 10,000 to start a business, but this is somebody here having like 25,000 every 2 weeks, but they will say the country bad. How is this country bad? We'll get to that, because Christabel is the one who has just brought this whole thing to me. Yeah, she has just really raised the doors, and now I get to understand a lot of things from when we were in secondary school right up to this point. Now, let me get to my question. Which age group is really highly affected by excitement, and in what areas do we really find excitement being projected?
Okay, for me, I want to think that Christabel mentioned it already.
No, she mentioned only her age group.
Yeah.
The Gen Z. I don't
Yeah.
know what's the Gen Z, by the way.
Let her clarify on
Is this the Generation Z?
Yes. I don't remember the exact
It's the 2000s.
yeah, the 2000s. So they are around their
somewhere in
20s now.
2000s.
Yeah.
They should be around their 20s now. The Gen Zs. Yeah, before them it was Generation X before them. So it's Gen Z now.
Very soon they'll get to Jay Z.
Yeah, probably. So I think that they are the ones who suffer the effect most, and that's because they come more from a place of recklessness, but they are not the only ones.
Yeah, that's
The
it.
older people are struggling to with it, but now a good number of them, responsibility and age is kind of holding them. And so it is easier to see a Gen Z who gets drowned in a pool. And not necessarily because the older person would not want to get drowned in that pool, it's just that the older person's disposition doesn't permit them to be around that pool. So, but I think that the effect of this whole excitement thing is more with them. But the other age groups suffer this as much as they. Why? Because remember, we are coming from a religious system. We are coming from an educational system that virtually destroys people. When some of us say these things, some people are not happy, but it's true. I've seen it. I've been out there for.
Our educational system is more governmentality.
Oh my God! Our educational system is educational system. Our schools is not even an educational system because it doesn't have any system.
It's an
not going
A with
anywhere.
system.
Yes, it's just a way of organized learning where they put you in a class and they destroy everything that you have. When we say these things, some people might be scared, some people might be angry, but the truth is, our school system destroys your ability to operate with your intuition and your imagination.
And go out of the box.
And go out of the box. It puts you in a box because it was designed by the oppressor for the person who was oppressed. And so it was never designed to free us. So even older people are struggling with this. But those with whom you can see the effect best is the younger ones, the Gen Zs, right? Because their level of excitement goes with recklessness. While the older person is like, oh my kids, oh my that, oh my that.
But some of them, we see their videos online. Those ones are acting, that's just, in fact, in pitch, we say that's bad. There's nothing they can do again.
Absolutely.
We are all just see your video now.
And thank you. And that comes to something which is very critical, which they don't pay attention to. And that's why you see what educational systems do is that they look for the people who are experts in things that are very pertinent and bring them on board and design things that will help to solve those issues. I keep insisting that personal development should be taught from primary school today. Why? One of the parts of us that most people don't care about is our subconscious mind. And what happens in the subconscious mind is that the things that you do there, they are not intentional. The things you do there are habits. And habits build cultures. And cultures are things you cannot control. That's why there's some older people that they don't really want to do that thing, but it's just who they are. Because their subconscious mind has grown to believe that that's who they are. And that's why when you start doing these things at this age, if we don't help them to draw this thin line, that the fact that, those girls who do that hair, those are some areas where you can see that clearly, who do that hair, the reason they do it is because of the pleasure that comes with it. So the excitement which you see them jumping around is because of the party at which when they go, they'll give them a big name and they'll talk about their hair.
Or big men will call them.
Or big men will call them.
And take
It's
them
because
somewhere.
of the big name that the big men call them. Because when you have big name, then big men want to associate with big people. So
Let's come and discover your church rat.
exactly. But the big men don't. The men don't care because what they are looking for too is pleasure.
True.
You are talking about church rat because you care about that girl and you care about her future. You see how deep the whole issue of excitement
I'm
is,
telling you.
right? And it ends up in pleasure. And the younger people are more, you see the effect more with them because they are the ones who can be reckless about that pleasure. Some elderly people, for example, a married man who still likes a lot of pleasure and is still very excited, would do it but will be at least careful because there's a reputation to keep.
That's true.
You see? So it's something that gets through all strata. And such conversations should hold often enough. As I mentioned earlier, that an educational system is one that comes to say, hey, people need to understand the power of the subconscious mind. I cannot believe this is not taught in school. I cannot believe we are not taught that some of us by our natural flesh are sanguines. And sanguines, for example, are flirtatious. So if you are not taught that, right, it makes you now to think that maybe you have a spiritual problem. Whereas it's not a spiritual. You are instead supposed to use your spiritual to impose on the natural sanguine that you possess. This is what should be taught in schools, and that is why education should even should concern things like church and what they teach. So they don't care about anything what they teach; they care about the money they collect. And you see how complicated this thing is, because the churches are supposed to have taught us how much and how we should do for the spiritual to dominate the physical. But all of that has been pushed to the side. Today is about how you can excite people, use emotionalism to get them
words.
to give you money.
Yeah.
So you see how complicated, and that's why, as you mentioned, the Gen Zs are suffering because they are the most reckless, they are the most excited, and they go to church, and the church ones, they are even more confused because they are supposed to be the ones setting the standards for the rest of the world. And from experience, I can tell you, ones in the church are even more lost than the ones that are outside. From
Most
experience.
definitely, from my experience too, the ones in church, they're not even lost, they're nowhere to be found.
That's hard.
It's the truth. When you say something is lost, it means you can sit down and think about where you kept it and you trace it. But something is nowhere to be found, that is over and done with. Alright, let me come to you, Miracle. It's been said the Gen Z are the top on the list of those who are confused, very excited, even though we have our parents, we have married men and all the like. Now let me ask you this. Has excitement in any way pushed people to making career decisions, religious decisions and all that?
Yeah, that's a very, very, tactful question. Because when you look critically outside, that is the push to most of the decisions that the young people make.
Okay.
Most people, they go into careers because of excitement. They watch online, they follow online, they have seen guys who are making it big in a particular career, and they don't even know what those guys went through
or actually do
in order to become who they are.
Exactly.
And the stress and the hard work, the candles they have burned to be where they are. They are just excited. Some people, you can just see a medical doctor or a nurse, and you
love the way the uniform fit her, and you love the way that man who has a big cat talks to her. Next thing, you're going to enroll in school.
And to baffle us, you see people going into areas they were never wired, because each and every one of us is wired in a particular way.
Yeah.
We were wired to fit in specific domains. Somebody who is not wired to be a nurse, just imagine what will happen if that person becomes a nurse.
You become paralyzed, they should give an injection.
That is it. And so many people, it's just that in Cameroon, we don't have the spirit of litigation.
We don't even have a good legal system because I could sue you.
Yes, because there are so many cases of medical negligence day in, day out. And people are dying. And of course, family members, they just tell you, your relative have died. And they just believe that the person has died. But they don't really go in there. What actually happened? Cases of medical negligence, and it's because people were just excited about
wearing that white uniform.
And this excitement is not only on the persons pursuing these careers, it's also from the parents, because parents are excited when they also hear that, my son is a medical doctor.
My son is a barrister.
My son is a barrister. He's a magistrate.
A magistrate that lives from a bar to come and judge a case.
And it has crippled our judicial system. It has crippled, our society is suffering from what is suffering today, because many people went into different careers because of excitement, not actually sitting down to discover themselves. Because when you discover yourself, it helps you, it guides you to know where you fit. When you discover your purpose, what you were created to do, even if it's sweeping the street, you sweep the street and you find fulfillment.
Exactly.
But because
Jesus was not a carpenter.
Yeah, he was a carpenter, and a very successful one at that.
Fixed all of our lives.
And he was fulfilled. Until tomorrow we'll talk about him. So excitement is one of those things that has plunged our generation into catastrophe.
Yeah.
Most of the things we suffer today are as a result of excitement. Many people are moved by excitement. I want to become a lawyer. Why do you want to become a lawyer? Lawyers drive big cars.
Miracle, since your name is Miracle and it really sounds church-like, let me stay with you.
Okay.
Do you also think some men of God that we have today are probably opening churches because of excitement?
I think, let me start by saying that I would have fallen in that trap of going into that, because I grew up in a very Christian home, and my way of life and growing up, so many people said, "Oh, Miracle, you are supposed to be a pastor," and they even encouraged me to, go
We're
to
fueling the excitement.
fueling the excitement that oh, look at this. And not. If I had followed that, I would have been I would have been maybe one of the fake guys that are outside there. But in the Christian milieu, I think it's a call for concern. Most young people today going into ministry are not going into ministry because they are called. Most young people going into ministry today are going into ministry because of the excitement, because of the the picture that has been painted about. You see,
women are going to be cooking for you every day.
Every day, you see a young guy of 25 years calling a 50-year-old man my son. My son, kneel down, let me pray for you. That fame and all of that, the respect and everything. And and when they go in there and they cannot deliver, that's what has contributed to the fake nature of most of them, because you have placed yourself in a particular position and you need to maintain it. And in order to maintain it, you need to put your hand somewhere.
Imagine you being an excited young man to go open the church, and then like Mr. Abine said, you have the flirtatious nature.
I'm telling you,
and you have not yet killed it.
I would slap people. I saw a video of one clergyman in Ghana who was flogging the Christians. Virtually flogging. And
I'm sure he has temper issues. And he's an excited man of God who has issues.
And a lot of young people are going into ministry. Bet me, most of them. Some of them go in and they become frustrated. There are so many who have become frustrated. They concluded on the picture they saw, and when they went in, they saw a different reality.
Yeah.
And they either became fake or they have turned the people they are leading into slaves.
Okay,
and our society is going through a lot because of that.
Thank you so much, Miracle. I'll be coming to you, Chris. But before I do that, I read a few contributions. Good morning to you and crew. Today's youth are filled with competitive ambitions that makes them go to any length just to achieve their said desires. In this light, most of them end up dying very deadly and devilish deaths, and also some of them end up dying due to deadly and devilish means just to make money at all costs, thereby causing them to be extremely excited. Okay, I don't really understand your English, but it's fine. Thank you for your contribution. This one says, are the youth of today fueled by excitement or the pursuit for fulfillment? Yes, and it's mostly because of fast cash. Most don't care if they what? Is it scratch you're trying to say? I think you wanted to say crash. That's what you wanted to say. Thank you so much, Dr. Ebeso, for your contribution. Thank you, Eteng Larry, too, for that one. Mr. Gerard Nanchi just says it's a catchy topic. Get to you shortly. Thank you all very much. Now, I think everybody would accept that we all, even if we have not been paying keen attention to the youth of today, we have been paying keen attention to our behavior. Like this morning before I was coming here, I was asking myself one question, but then I heard this, I think I was in a taxi, and the taxi man was listening to Apostle Joshua Selman, and the apostle was saying, so many of you don't even have a structure for discipline, a structure for growth, a structure for medical care. Like, when I went to my elder sister's house, I saw a small kid in the house that has so many drugs. And I was like, why is my sister Bayon resisting? When you still will go hospital. Until I listened to that message. Wow. It's a structure. People play structures, like when you wake up in the morning, and because that thing, the driver did not even know, but I think if I ever see that driver, I'll say thank you. Because of that driver, I now wake up in the morning, I'm asking myself, what can I do for my own self to impact myself before stepping out of the house? Making sure that maybe you even read, even if it's an article, you read a devotional. You have to edify yourself, and that's when I understood why the Bible made us understand that you have to study to show yourself approved, which means the Bible is trying to tell us that we need to also have structures. In some homes, they don't have them any structure for spiritual growth. As you wake up in the morning, you're gone. There's no structure for anything. So why won't we be excited? Because if in the house we had a structure for spiritual growth, we had a structure on how house chores are done. Have you ever gone to a house at 5 p.m. and that's when they're washing plates, and to you it's like your skin is cold. 5 p.m. that's when you're washing. You just imagine how your mother would have beaten you. Maybe your front teeth would have all fallen down. Because your mom has a structure in the house. 7 a.m. you wash plates. And if people want to eat anything, my house has to be sparkling clean. And that's when I was like, God, it means our parents back in the day, they did not do developmental studies. Yeah. They did not do growth, but they had what we they understood
the principles.
Exactly.
They understood the principles.
And implemented them.
And they did that, implemented it, and maybe that's why they were successful.
Let me just say something, maybe before you give to the next person. You know, what has been done to us Africans is that they have made us religious. Yeah. But before they made us religious, we were very spiritual people.
True.
And the spirituality aspect of us is that parents came from a place of vision.
Exactly.
And even the Bible, of course, Proverbs 29 verse 18 says, where there is no vision, people cast off restraint. They lose discipline. And so because our parents came from a place of vision, what they did is that they also gave us vision by at least giving us discipline.
Yeah.
You see. So spiritual people generally are very disciplined people. Religious people have little or no discipline in their life. And so that's why you see that even though our parents never, the reason why this has become necessary today is because of the way things have been turned upside down. And that's why personal development, that's why these kind of conversations are very important. Mm-hmm. But our parents in those days came from a place of vision. And remember that when you take little actions like washing plates in the morning and all of that, it becomes habit.
Yeah.
And then habits, or it becomes routine. And routines build habits,
yeah.
and habits build cultures. And because our parents understood that, they knew that if they never taught us those things very early, by the time it becomes a culture, we'll not be able to change it later.
Yeah.
And so that's why they were very, very strict with us while we were still young, because they understood. And trust me, it is only people who are coming from a deeper place, as spiritual, not religious people, who are able to do that. So that's why you see our parents were able to do that without necessarily having all of this education.
Exactly. Because you walk into, Chris, I know you're younger like myself, and some guys have invited us over. And you walk into a guy's house, and the first thing you that comes to your mind is now, wow. You see the bed. It's like the bed sheets are actually screaming. And that's another thing. I think thank God we're talking about excitement.
Yeah.
This guy lives with all of this dirtiness, and because you are excited to marry, you go and start training a man. You have not trained yourself. You've not trained your younger ones, you're not training, or you go and you become a slave to a man, all in the name of you want to have the title Mrs. And that's why we are having talks over televisions and radios that tomorrow will not make sense to me. How do I come to you? How are you expecting a guest and you cannot even do the needful to clean? I go into a house and at 2 p.m. that's when they're going to the market to cook. In whose house?
And they'll tell you that, why should I pretend?
Not knowing that it's actually they lack discipline in their lives.
But in their subconscious mind, they've been able to believe that what they are saying is true.
It's very okay. To them, it's very okay.
How do you do that? Like at 2 p.m. That's when in some homes 6 o'clock.
Yes.
The person who's going to the market is already going.
Yes.
The person who's supposed to wash plates is washing, and that's why you want to enter a woman's house at 11 o'clock. People are watching TV, and you're like, people are done with work. Yeah, they're done. In fact, somebody's even going back to bed at 11 because mom woke them up at 5. You will walk, then if you have to go back to your bed, that you're free. But first do my work.
And learn to wake up early. You see, our parents are spiritual people. Christ was not waking up late. Solomon did not used to wake up late. Those guys woke up early. Yeah. Our parents understood that, preferably understand the importance of waking up early. And anything could happen afterwards. True. They were teaching us some of those fundamental, how do I put it? Principles.
Fundamentals.
Yes, fundamentals. Exactly.
Yeah.
They were teaching us those fundamentals because they knew that on those foundations we can build any other.
You build skyscrapers. That's why Douala is better than Boya when it comes to business. In Douala at 5 a.m.
everybody's up.
For those who sleep, by the way, because some are up the whole night.
Yeah.
Good number up the whole night.
Everybody's up.
Like in Douala, there's a place where as you are going to another person is coming, like the business does not shut down.
It's not
247. But you come to Boya at 9 a.m. Somebody is telling you, hey, I'll be there by 11.
We go to their houses to go and wake them. That please.
You go and take your dress from a tailor's house at 1. No, today I will not be going to the shop, and you expect money to come. In fact, you're going to church to pray that God should give you money. God should give you money. How is God supposed to give you money? It's horrible. Well, Chris, we're still on the aspect of has excitement caused people to make very critical decisions regarding career, education, because career is a member of education. Also, when it comes to just their pursuit in life, has excitement ever put anyone?
It's a very, very sad situation, but it has put a lot of people into this situation. It's not just about it, people have lost a lot of opportunities because of one reckless move. Now, let's take a practical example of a youth. I'll go back to our parents where they make us to do study programs where we don't even know the way forward or the backwards. But hey, remember, discipline. You have to discipline yourself. You can give them some level of trust. You can trust them, and you discipline yourself. You get the goal.
Why are you talking about my life?
You have to now, you have to get there. Now that's me trusting and disciplining myself. I believe that in the process of disciplining yourself and doing it, you're going to learn a lot. Okay, I'm heading somewhere.
Okay.
Now, your parents have done all of that. You've put in all the efforts. You're doing your best. But on this day, you just listen to a motivational speaker, or I call them motivational speakers, encouraging you to go out there, enjoy your life, do this, and you get up one day and you enter the streets of Moliko and you enjoy your life.
Not knowing that life is enjoying
you. Actually enjoy your life and you lose your life. That's just one move. Just because now the kind of content you listen to, or I'm still going back to TikTok. If I was in the government, I would ban TikTok. If I was,
it's like you came today with that particular TikTok in mind.
If I was in the government, I would ban that app, or let's say social media in general, because it's so contagious. Even to me,
it's addictive.
It's so that
wake up in the morning, you can't pray. You're picking by your phone.
Imagine me being at work and I'm really, really stressed out because, to be honest, it's really stressful to work. And there's this content of this girl putting like, hey, there's one particular Nigerian girl, she's talking about going out there, why should a man be with you that cannot give you money, blah blah blah. I'm like, imagine I've been in this relationship that I've been building for years, and I understand my partner's objectives, where he's heading to, and then just that information, and with the stress and everything that you're going through, and you just you lose your life. I don't really want to call names, but I know a lot of situations where people have lost opportunities. You can survive. You can trust your parents, and you get a career for you to develop your own self.
As I see, why is she talking about me? Because when I left lycée, I did A4 and I had all these subjects at the advanced level. It's not like I failed and I had good grades. And my mom is like, you are not going to do management or economics. I'm like, this woman, you hate me. And I'm like, okay, so what should I go and study? She said, you know what? I don't foresee this world or the world of ours just being stagnant. The world of ours is evolving. So I want you to do something that was going to help you navigate wherever and however. I said, please tell me that course. Is it Elizabeth course? Because there's no course that I know on this earth that will help me navigate anything. She said, I feel like there's a course in UB, go there. When I went there, they said there were women and gender studies 4 years. I said, it can never be me. I stood at the gates of UB. I cried my eyes. When they said Jesus wept, I was an assistant. I wept at the gates of UB. Then one lady came and said, there is a course called Sociology and Anthropology. Go and check it out. I said, Sociology and Anthropology. So I go to A4 to come and do Sociology and Anthropology. Wow. I hated that course with all my heart and my soul, Chris. The first year, I didn't fail a course, but I was not doing well. It was BC because I hated it. It was the second year that ANT 301 came up and I attended the class, and the way the man spoke, I was like, wait, my mother said she needed something I will navigate. What is this man saying? And the man said, with anthropology, you are a navigator. I said, wait, you did not just use that word now like that. You are a navigator. There is anthropology of virtually everything. So if you go to Japan and they are doing only industries, you pick up your book and you read the anthropology of industries and you're employed. I say, wait, sir, you don't just mean it. Do you mean my mother was actually seeing by this anthropology for me? And that was it. Wow. That was the end. And mind you, I did anthropology but found myself in the media field.
Wow.
And then still did anthropology anthropology, found myself in the social work field. And when my mom looks at me today, she said, "Didn't I tell you that you will navigate, and I want you to navigate?" And I was like, ha. So when I got to the master's level, everyone was like, "No, go to gems." I said, "No, I will stick with anthropology. It is the only field that my mom has seen that I can navigate, and she had seen that I have a future with this, and truly I've seen the future, so I'll stick with it."
So
and that's what I'm doing.
It's a call for parents. This it's not just the excitement to have a baby, say baby fever. It's not just baby fever. It's for you to be ready so that you can guide your children. Because if you are bringing a child into this world that you have not even known the way forward for you, you don't even know how the direction the world is going, how are you going to help this child?
Yeah.
Children you're bringing in.
Let me just add something there. I dare to say I've never met your mom, but I dare to say your mom is probably a very spiritual woman.
Yeah, no, she is.
Not religious.
No, she's spiritual.
Very spiritual, because it takes only that. And you know what people don't understand about spirituality is that the spirit is above the soul, and the spirit functions based on the way the soul is structured, and the soul is structured with information. And so that's why today what many men of God do to manipulate is that they don't encourage you to go to the soul and feed the soul. They just excite you at the level of the flesh, and then lie to you that at the level of the spirit you are fine. And so what happens is most people have no idea about what it means to be spiritual, which is to go inwards. And it's only when you go inwards. And how do you go inwards? You must feed your soul to have clarity at the level of the soul. So I'll give you an example. I am quite sure your mom had looked at you and the way you do, and she had assessed your qualities and assessed the way you operate.
Yeah,
she was able to make a proposal. I'm sure if you had really insisted that, she could have said, okay, no problem. Because I know the day parents should advise, they should not impose.
Yeah.
But she made a proposal based on their strengths, based on your weakness, based on what she had seen. But now, for example, you have a parent who has not studied anything, who has not read anything, because they say just go to church and worship. You don't read, you don't study, you don't read any book, you don't understand anything about personality types, and then you take your child who is obviously a melancholic, right? And you don't advise them to say, okay, you're melancholic, but you can work to become like this. You don't have to change or stop being melancholic, but you can work to pick up the attitudes of cholerics who are outgoing before telling them now go and do something which involves going out, right? And so you take your melancholic child who should do something in the lab, because our people that should operate in a lab because they like to work alone. They are melancholics. If you advise them to go and do something that involves going out, you put them under all kinds of pressure. So it takes only a spiritual parent. And this is so important because most parents today are religious. It takes a spiritual parent.
God will do it.
Yeah, it takes a spiritual parent to give an advice. But that advice should be grounded on understanding. The problem is that most advice are grounded on excitement.
Yeah.
Because the parent wants you to also go and be out there like a medical doctor.
Yeah.
My child is a medical doctor. My child has 5 A's, 11 ordinary levels. So there is that excitement. So you see how deep the excitement. And so you also go in there and you're also excited because they say medical doctors. But the truth is that except you're a medical doctor who is doing to mago or entrepreneurial, you'll be a broke person.
You're very broke.
Except that. So
you can be broke and even sick.
Thank you. And so it takes parents who are spiritual. And that's why we're having this conversation. Because those who are getting into parenthood now are mostly the so-called Gen Zs. They're the young ones. They're the ones having kids.
They are excited to show men that they can take care of a child without them.
You get it?
I don't know how you guys are doing it, but people go girl, you're powerful.
But I think that's why we're having this conversation. Because there are also some of them, they were just doing it because of ignorance. And my people perish because of lack of knowledge.
When they see a girl post a video of her daughter, they having baby fever.
Let me tell you something.
Baby fever because the cost of milk.
Let me tell you something. This is what happens. So now my wife, and sometimes we are walking with our baby. I'm like, oh my mommy, hey, my mommy, it's like
cannot wait.
Excited. They cannot wait. If they know what it takes and the effort and the sacrifice. For example, many of these Gen Z guys don't know that the man is supposed to be the spiritual leader of the house. Many have no idea. Many of them take it and hand it to the woman because the woman is the one in the house. No. Even if you're not always at home, you are supposed to establish a spiritual structure.
Exactly.
Right? And then you as a man, you're the one who is up most of the time early. And you're the one sometimes to pray, you must not kneel down. You must not lie down. To pray, you just utter things from within the heart. And that's why God said that when He's going to put things in our heart, you just pray like that. And there is a way that you surround your family with the fire.
Exactly.
But the Gen Z guy just want to wear his white socks, his short trouser, and his how do they call this t-shirt? I don't have. They call it demambre. That's what I know. I think in French.
Or some of them wear these suspenders.
Exactly.
Nicely.
They just want
and
to
they
run,
do videos and they hit
and
it.
they have their babies, and they have their baby walking around. Being a parent goes far beyond, but again, it comes back to excitement. And that's why those of them who are like that, who are coming from a place of ignorance, we are talking to them today.
Yeah.
While hoping that those who have also chosen their side, at some point they can decide to change their hearts and come.
Yeah.
But we pray that you out there who is dangling, and I teach university students, so I know I'm coming from. There are a lot of them. There are 100 of them, and 90 are struggling with peer group influence. 90 don't know how to break away from that one to be like others. And I know that they are out there and they are the target. Hopefully, if we're able to get them to see the other perspective and to give them the clear line between these two, I think it's going to help tremendously.
I'm really excited about how the discussion has been going and the areas we are touching. And particularly this aspect of TikTok. I actually tried TikTok, but I was mostly posting scriptures. The problem with TikTok, Chris, that I noticed is that whenever I want to go on there to maybe look for content that I can watch, very odd things pop up, and it does not, because if you we're talking about fulfillment, if you're somebody who is actually looking for something that will help you in your purpose, realize that those things, they anger your spirit man. Have you ever been watching a video and your spirit man, your body is just hitting?
The truth is that when it comes to social media, if you understand the dynamics, you use the app the platform very well.
Yeah.
Because since we're talking about TikTok, if I go on TikTok today and I like a video where a woman is doing makeup,
more of makeup, yeah.
If you go on TikTok and you're learning how to do something, how to
Nails.
improve yourself, how to maybe develop your career, that is how they will give you. Now it's a system that is designed to feed you what you want,
or what you like,
what you even imagine, because the worst things or the best things you imagine is on that app, is on the media, not just on the app. If you imagine, or the worst, think of anything right now and go in there and search, you will find it.
And what I like about that many people don't realize TikTok and Facebook is whatever question you ask Google,
they have an answer.
No, not Google is not even the one that gives an answer. Go now and type let's say, what is the size of a baby when it's 3 months old? As you get to Facebook, the first 5 posts, they're talking about that.
I don't understand how.
Wait, I asked by Google, what Facebook?
They
are.
That's why most of the times when you want to create any platform, they'll ask for your email, they'll ask for certain things. I would say this word is programmed. It's programmed. So we really need to be careful. I'll go back to I went through a couple of development programs, self-development, a lot of leadership programs, and if there's one thing that I say, even when I wake up from my bed, is choice, decision, consequence. I don't want to say who put that in me right now, but as you wake up, I wake up, choice, decision, consequence. That times I wake up, I really don't want to do anything, but I remember that choice, decision, consequence. And it goes back to discipline principles, because the world is not designed to favor us. The world is designed to hit us back in the face. So if you can find your own motivation that comes from within, because this one comes from within. I'm like, hey, because I have, anybody that knows me knows that I want a Range Rover.
Just like of recent, everyone that knows me knows I want a small red car.
And everyone, and you see that a lot of, each time if I wake up today, I feel really nice and I feel like, hey, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to do this, I'll just go and post it. And the moment I post it, you see mostly men. I don't know if they think that I'm waiting for them to come and I'm not being a feminist or anything, but it's motivating me. I don't care how you feel. It's making me to stay
when you
focused.
see it, you're like, you know what? I'm going to
I
get
know
you
what
one
I
day.
want. I'm posting it and I'm inspiring people. There was this day in where I work, and there's a very large compound where there are a lot of kids. When it's holiday, they're so noisy, they're everywhere, and I'm not giving myself credit, but it's a fact. I'm really good with kids. So there was this day I was coming, and all of them were staring at me. I was like, "What is it? I don't have biscuit today." Oh. I was just being playful, and they were like, one followed me. I'm like, "Auntie, the way I went out big, I want to be like you. I like the way you're always dressing. I like the way." I went back and I sat. I used to wear a lot of destroyed jeans. Damn. I was like, it means that this child is looking at this my destroyed jeans I'm wearing. I went back home and I took all of them. What am I trying to say? Choice, decision, consequence. You may not know who is watching you. You don't know who is watching you. You don't know how much
and the
influence
impact
you're giving out there. You don't know, even posting. I see crazy things that people wake up and they post. You don't know who is watching. There are people that will really, really love you from the good things you have done. It means any negative thing that you do, they want to do it because they want to be like you. So let's not be excited. Let's really think about people, because fulfillment comes when there is impact.
Yeah, I think like what I because I've put my structure for my development, so I must develop. Like what I listened to today, a fruit is not meant for itself.
Perfect.
It is meant for another person. So whatever it is that you get, whatever it is that you have, like we're developing ourselves, like he has developed himself so much. At the end of the day, the development does not really help him, it's helping you. So the fruit that he has, miracle, everything, she's an account.
I am a fruit.
Exactly.
I am his fruit.
Exactly.
Oh, let me steal this time. I don't know if this is right, but I am his product.
Okay.
Like the time I baptized at a very old age,
Okay.
relatively, and every day I was going to church, I was looking at everybody. I was looking at all. I had proposals. I had this mama
Your spiritual father
and this and this. I was like, this is the person that I want, and I was watching him every single day in church.
And he did not know.
He did not know. I was watching every single day until this day I attended his program. I was like, okay, this is it, and I started building the. One day I just walked up to him. I'm like, I want. He did not even respond that day. He was like, okay. Being who he is, always trying to,
calculate the environment, I think he was a good math student. He was always looking for X.
Like he was looking for X, and he was not even excited. I'm supposed to tell you about
like
something.
It's annoying.
Yeah, excited and all of that. And to go back again about this, you need to choose the right mentor.
True.
There was a mass in my church. I'm Catholic. So there was this father where he had a moment to say something, and he invited a young lady and was introducing her to the whole church that this has been the goddaughter. They chose him before he even thought of going into this vocation, and it was really nice. And I saw how much impact that child has taken from him. So now you said that most of us don't have orientation. It's the orientation matters.
Sure.
If I did not get the right orientation or the right
You
people
brought us to
around,
another question then.
Yeah.
I don't even have it from the beginning, but at some point
You have to be intentional about your life.
I had a structure. I had to do things that I did not even want. I had to, I don't want to go into it because it's not my show. I can tell the whole thing is going to be so interesting. But we need the right people. Don't be excited. Don't feel like I want this person to be my mentor.
Yeah.
You need to study. You need to know why. And once they take you as a mentor, it's your responsibility to make that person do the right things or be in the right path. I don't care how you do it, but you have to do it.
Bene, before you come in, there's something I want to say based on what she just said. And Miracle, I want you to come inside. They praise him, so let me rest. People are watching and like, wait, who is he? No, wait, he's married, by the way. So there's no market. Let us leave it. Now, this is it. She said something about orientation and choosing the right person.
Yeah.
But I'll bet you today, we have attended, like many people say, no, you have to go out there for seminars and workshops. I've attended a workshop that at the end of the day I realized I was the one working. The workshop did not do any shopping
Serious?
or working. I was the one working.
Okay.
So we have a lot of seminars, a lot of workshops,
Yeah, right.
a lot of whatever people want to call it, conferences.
Out of excitement.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You find the very big banners, they have a very big name,
Beautiful.
a big
They have
person.
money
Yes,
to
well
spend.
organized.
But you go there and they are literally saying everything that if you go check your phone, like 7 people had already sent it to you. You've read it and you're even
Repetition.
annoyed. Have you ever gone to a place
Yeah.
and you have questions?
It's nothing new.
Nothing new, nothing.
You come out
It's
feeling
a waste of time.
like you wasted your
Yeah.
time.
Which is why I think he is saying that the educational system is built to destroy us.
Destroy.
Because imagine you saying that you are supposed to go to school. School is enlightenment, by the way. That's the word, enlightenment. It's supposed to enlighten you for you to think
Yeah.
out of the box and on your own.
Independently, yeah.
Now, the reason why the white man is way better than us when it comes to education is because they don't teach the children. They just enlighten them. And now the child goes and is reading, using that enlightenment, and discovers his or her
Perfect.
own self. And that's it.
That's it.
That's why you go there. They don't stress with it.
They
We
will
don't,
only set you free.
yeah, they don't carry bags with books, carry books with what books that we don't even know who brought them and why.
At 5.
And then at the end of the day, we have those very big bags with books and we don't know the history of our country.
Exactly, yeah.
But you say we are going somewhere. Now, at the end of the day, how do we handle this? Because I've seen workshops, I've said I'm interested. Okay, I've attended a few, but there's nothing new, a miracle. Literally
You're very
nothing.
right.
Men of God invite you for programs and you go there. Even the praise and worship now is excitement.
Excitement.
It's a lot of
Yes.
noise.
Just
I
Thank
cannot
you.
go-
The drummer man is saying bang 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 bang.
It's more
you
of
see a
distraction.
whole structure. They invest in equipment. They invest in a lot to. I call it disturbances because you cannot be passing on the street. Someone said something to me that I cannot mingle with this person because he was talking about a particular person that is in the entertainment industry that I cannot even greet this type of person, and I'm like, you're a Christian, you think you're different because you are a Christian. God is love.
Love all.
God is love, and but you cannot even
Boundless
bring your-
love for that matter.
You cannot. I mean, you've made it so clear that you cannot. So this thing of the Bible, I don't know. It's like we read Bibles in different.
No. You have
I
not
don't-
said it very well.
I don't know.
We are not reading the Bible. We are reading Blue Bluba.
I feel like people go to the Bible and they read the verse that favors them.
They
Is
read
it-
things
are
out
you
of
knowing now?
They read things out
read-
of context.
they read
If at all
because-
they read.
Because
Because
I'm told the read.
If at all they read.
Because
People just
even
pick
people in
things.
church don't have basic greetings are blessings.
Ethics.
Greetings are blessings. You just hear good morning. But you think you're a Christian.
No, the
that
funny
you cannot-
part-
you even greet some, they don't answer because they're running to church.
The funny part is I learned of recent, or not even of recent, like let me say like 8 months or a year back, that good morning is not even greeting. It's not really a good way of greeting. Greet him. What is his name? Or if you don't know his name, attribute it. Good morning to you,
That's
sir.
it.
Now that is when you're greeting him. You don't just walk on the road, good morning, where are you greeting? Yambamba or one mosquito that is passing behind. No.
And some even say morning.
Yeah, someone say morning, no.
greet
What's
some.
that?
You greet some, they don't even answer.
You then,
They don't
and that's
answer.
when I realized what my mom was. I think really you're giving the best. My mom is really spiritual. When my mom wakes up in the morning, Ma, I bid you good morning. Oh, how are you? And how did you sleep? And when she says I bid you good morning, there's a kind of joy you feel.
Wow.
Like you're
Natural.
telling me that my
It's
name should be, my morning should be good.
Yeah.
That's how she says I bid you good morning. Oh, Ma, how are you? That's she's greeting her
so
daughter.
touching.
Yeah, she's greeting her daughter, not greeting even her mom. The way she gets to her mom is like, Mommy, I bid you good morning. Oh, how far you sleep fine? Yeah, and when I was growing up, though that was the structure I had, I always used to ask myself, why should I be asking somebody I'm staying in the same house, how are you? Why? You are fine, I'm seeing you. But as I grew older, I realized that it's not about me seeing you are fine. It's me instilling in you that you should be fine.
Perfect.
True.
And that is when I started really understanding why certain structures were really important. And when I listened to Apostle Joshua Selman, he solidified what I'd already known and it opened my eyes better. We need to have structures. And excitement, we need to really chase excitement out of this country, especially Boya. Because the level at which things are coming up every day without a base.
It's
If it is not this investment platform that is coming today and crumbling in 3 weeks' time, it's a businessman that is coming with cryptocurrency that will disappear with money.
What about betting? Because that's
Yes.
the talk of the day today.
Ladies, my goodness, Betty, I would,
And ladies are
then,
going
you
to
know,
it,
I
so.
just realized there are a lot of problems that I am
In just
asking-
this small Boya is
I
like a
am-
continent now.
I am asking myself, what is the way forward?
Let Miracle answer that. Miracle, Your name alone is very beautiful. Please bring miracles to this segment. The workshops,
Yeah,
the
I think
conferences,
yes, we need to begin
the
from
the
there.
seminars, right? Yes,
Yes,
it's
the
conference,
seminars,
workshops.
We have to-
workshops.
What are you
Yeah,
doing?
I think personally I'm a very inquisitive person, and because of that drive, I've attended a lot of seminars, I've attended a lot of workshops, and I think I really buy your view, because most of these seminars, you attend seminars, there is a repetition. There is no novelty, there is no innovation, and you're asking yourself, what did these people really have in mind?
No, they came to give us juice and water.
It's really a pity. What were they out to achieve in the first
What were
place?
they out to impact? Like,
Impact.
what do you want to give me?
At the end of the day, some people are just excited that they want to have a name that they organize a
It goes
seminar.
back to excitement.
Yes, it
And
goes
some
back-
of us
it
who
goes
even
back-
attend are excited to just go and
That
attend.
is it, and
We
you-
eat our fish pie and our
That
egg.
is it, and we
That seminar that you attended, what was the title?
And get the certificate.
and get a certificate of participation.
About this event and the motives that we have now is really terrible.
It's terrible.
Motives, because I have my mother there. If she's watching, she'll laugh. She went to a salon, so I took her to a salon where I would usually do my hair, where there are young people, and I left her there and I went to work. So she when she came back, she was like, she kept on. She was so stressed, and I was like, "What is?" I was like, "Tell me, what did you hear?" She was like, "That gym that you're going to, you told me that they're just ladies now." I was like, "Yes, they're just ladies, and we're few." She was like, when I was doing my hair, those girls, they were like, one girl said that, where will I find a boyfriend? So this other lady just came in like, you don't know the headline. You need to go to a gym, you need to go to this event. If you are looking for big lawyers, you can go to Faco gym. If you are looking for young scammers, there's some gym at my 17. If you are looking for it goes the same, like people will be like, if you want events, I've heard someone tell me that if you want to meet the rich guy, yes, it's true. If you want to connect with those kind of people, you can always go to that level, but it depends the motive. Now they'll be like, go to this event where these seminars where there are big people coming in, that's how you link up. Now, how do you expect somebody that is going in with a motive to go and search for a partner to come back with knowledge?
Because at the end of the day, tailors are beginning to have a rise in the increase of clothes. What are we wearing the dresses to?
You understand?
You
Like,
see a simple wedding like that, but the way a girl will
the
dress.
motive is their motives. The problem is the motives.
True.
So if you can even go to an event where the trainers are doing their best
True.
to impact knowledge. They've input a lot. They'll come back looking so beautiful, and they've gotten what they wanted. But whatever you are trying, the knowledge you are trying to pass is none
No,
of
ma,
their
I get your
business.
point. It's actually true. Some people are trying, but the ones who have attended, they did not try.
Let me come in there, and I think the reason is that you cannot give what you don't have.
Exactly.
While we are worried about those who are going there with the wrong motive, the truth is that those who are also doing it, a good number are doing it with the wrong motive.
Thank you.
Very true.
I'll say it. I'm one of the emerging leaders in Cameroon. At some point, I decided to just slow down a little bit because